Hello aspirants, welcome to Asian Academy. 8th chapter of class 7th science NCERT is winds, storms and cyclones. So the important points are wind. First point is wind. The moving air is called wind. And before that, the incidents happened on 18th October 1999 is Orissa was hit by a cyclone with wind speed of 200 km per hour. The cyclone smashed 45,000 houses, making 7 lakh people homeless. On 29th October the same year, a second cyclone with wind speed of 260 km per hour hit Orissa again. It was accompanied by water waves about 9 meters high. You can see the image, figure 8.1. Right? Property worth crores of rupees were destroyed. The cyclone affected agriculture, transport, communication and electricity supply. So this is the incident that happened. Next, you can see a can with hot water being cooled. When you placed a tin can over a candle flame with water boiling, when the water gets boiled, close the lid and turn off the flame and pour cold water over the can. The can gets shrunk like this. What is the reason? The reason is, as water is poured over the can, some steam in the can condenses into water, reducing the amount of air inside. So the phenomenon is the pressure of air inside the can decreases than the pressure exerted by the air from outside the can. As a result, the can gets compressed. This activity again confirms that exerts pressure. Next is high-speed winds are accompanied by reduced air pressure, like blowing into the bottle. Next, the increased wind speed is indeed accompanied by a reduced air pressure. So it's a fact to remember. We see that the increased wind speed is indeed accompanied by reduced air pressure. Air moves from the region where the air pressure is high to the region where the air pressure is low. We obviously know that. The greater the difference in pressure, the faster the air moves. So the air moves from higher pressure to lower pressure. So we can simply remember that. Next is, also it is important to remember that on heating the air expands and occupies more space. When the same thing occupies more space, it becomes lighter. That is, the warm air is therefore lighter than the cold air. That is the reason that smoke goes up. So what is the reason smoke goes up? Because the warm air is lighter than the cold air. So it moves up. Next is, wind currents are generated due to uneven heating on the earth. These situations are uneven heating between the equator and the poles, and uneven heating of land and water. Thus, the wind currents are generated. Next, the first one is uneven heating between the equator and the poles. You might have learned in geography that regions close to the equator gets maximum heat from the sun. The air in this region gets warm. The warm air rises and the cooler air from the regions in 0 to 30 degrees latitude belt on either side of the equator moves in. As we discussed in the last chapter, it is repeating the same because the warmer air rises up and the cooler air nearby the region comes towards the warm place. See, as here mentioned, uneven heating of land and water, sea breeze and the land breeze we discussed in chapter 4. They are repeating the same. In winter, the direction of wind flow gets reversed. It flows from the land to the ocean. See, they are repeating as we discussed in chapter 4. You can see the figure 8.8, the wind flow pattern because of uneven heating on the earth. So the wind is generating because of uneven heating on the earth. The wind from the oceans carry water and bring rain. It is a part of water cycle. The monsoon winds carry water and it rains. So we just need to remember that the monsoon winds carry water and it rains. And the two such situations is thunderstorms and cyclones. Rains often create problems. In nature itself, there are certain situations. That situation is thunderstorms and cyclones. The swift movement of falling water droplets along with the rising air create lightning and sound. This is called thunderstorm. And cyclone is the chain of events ends with the formation of a very low pressure system with very high speed winds revolving around it. It is the weather condition that we call a cyclone. Factors like wind speed, wind direction, temperature and humidity contribute to the development of cyclones. So here they are telling how a thunderstorm becoming a cyclone. And few more topics are left. I will take from how a thunderstorm becomes a cyclone in the